Hi, this is Mike Shinn with AVNation. I am here at InfoComm 2017 doing our annual coverage of the Crestron booth. Joining me is Jeff Singer from Crestron. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for inviting us to the booth and seeing everything that's new this year. Once again, very impressive, very large, and very crowded. I don't know how you guys do it every year, but you always impress.
Yeah, we do. We're really we got a lot of really exciting products, and the response has been overwhelming. We're really excited. You work hard all year, and you think you did something great, but you never know till you show up, and everybody.
Right.
Then it's a pretty honest industry. They'll let you know.
Well, so far, certainly it looks like the response is huge.
Yeah, I think we've really got some really big winners from Mercury to NVX, new cloud provisioning tools that we have, new room scheduling platforms, speakers, and the whole idea is really centered around enterprise room solutions, right? All the different spaces in an enterprise, how people use them, what they want to do in those spaces. How do we provide a solution for every one of those spaces that all kind of rides on the same platform, make it simple, scalable, and secure on the network? And that's what we've done.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit more about Mercury.
Sure. So Mercury Rooms, it's a room solution. It's an all-in-one console that sits on the table. And basically, it's your 7-inch touchscreen. It gives you everything that you want to do in a room, from making conference calls. It's a full open SIP conference phone. It's your AV presentation. It has wired and wireless presentation built in. So if you're familiar with AirMedia, there's an AirMedia gateway actually built into the console.
Is it intended more just for huddle rooms, or is it
anything?
expandable?
Oh, it's almost any size room, really. It depends on what you want to do, right? So if you're doing conference calls, video presentation, or web conferencing, video conferencing, this is the right tool for you. The speaker and microphones that are, again, built in are so exceptional. We really put a lot of engineering into the audio for this product that we put it in a room where it's a 24-seat long conference table, and that speaker, it's highly intelligible. The tonal qualities are really just spot on. And then the microphones, they're 360-degree coverage, and they're so good. You can be all the way at the other end of the room. You can even turn your back and to whiteboard, because sometimes you're conferencing with people that are located remotely, but inevitably somebody gets up in the room and starts whiteboarding.
Always. And
you turn your back to the speaker phone, and now the people on the other end can't hear you. With Mercury, that doesn't happen. The mics are so good that you can be all the way at the other end of the room, or turn your back, and it's like you're still in the same room.
That's
so
impressive.
Really any size. We even built in, there's Bluetooth built in. I've heard a lot of people, they'll start that phone call in their car on their way to a meeting, or on their way right, and they're on their phone, and then they get to the meeting, and it's like, okay, let me hang up and I'll call you back. Not with Mercury. The Bluetooth is built in. You just pair your phone to the Mercury device like you normally would, like in your car or anything. And now you're leveraging the Mercury unit, and that you get that great audio quality, and it's all part of the conference experience. But the real problem solver here is around the web conferencing or the video conferencing. Everybody's got something different on their laptop today, right?
Yes.
So with just about everything else, well, first of all, let's say people are trying to move away from the hard codec.
Yep.
Right? So now they got it on their laptop or their tablet, they walk in the room. Now, at Crestron, we're a good Microsoft partner, so we standardize Skype for Business. But guess what? Every day, somebody's inviting me to Zoom, Slack, Join Me, WebEx, GoToMeeting, Amazon Chime, Google Hangouts, whatever, there's a million of them, right? So even though we've standardized on Skype for Business, the world hasn't. How do you accommodate that, right? Well, with most systems, you're kind of locked into one, and then it doesn't work. I've got it's moments before that meeting, I got to download the app, and I do it, and then I'm having trouble connecting, and now, next thing I know, I'm emailing or texting, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Right.
And it's a
My audio
nightmare.
settings aren't set up on the laptop properly, and I can't seem to get the meeting kicked off. So we're spending more time setting the meeting up than we're actually having with the meeting.
Exactly. Mercury
solves that.
Solves that problem.
That's
it just works with anything. Whatever you're running on your device, you walk in, you plug it in, and it works. And it doesn't matter. Now, what is brand new, we've just introduced here at the show, for those organizations that say, but I'm a Skype for Business house. I don't want to have to bring a laptop in just to make an audio or video call. I understand to share content, but if I just want to make a call, I don't want to have to bring in my laptop. Well, now, in the web configuration page, there's just a checkbox. If you want Skype for Business to run natively on Mercury, it can do that. And then it'll still work with everything else. So if somebody else brings something in, it still works with whatever they're running.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
And then what we're also doing is we're partnering or teaming up with Zoom. So we're seeing a lot of Zoom rooms, right? So again, you got a dedicated computer in the room running the Zoom program, but you still have to bring a tablet or a laptop in with the control app.
Right.
And a lot of times you're also bringing in for instance, a Jabra speakerphone along with it. So you're still having to bring in a lot of peripherals to make a call.
A lot of junk that's sitting now on the table in order to actually have the meeting.
Right. So talking with Zoom, they said, well, wait a minute. Mercury's already on the table. It's got a touch screen. Why couldn't the Zoom Room app run on Mercury? So now it does. So again, it's the same units. These aren't different model numbers or different SKUs. Same product. When you take it out of the box, go to a web page, whether you're running our AV Framework UI, the Zoom UI, or Skype for Business, it's all the same product. It's a checkbox. It's easy, and again, it's open standard, so it works with everything else that you're already working with.
That's exciting. No wonder it's a huge crowd out in front of the section of the booth where they're talking about it.
Yeah,
There's a lot to talk about.
Well, and the cloud provisioning. So again, when we're getting orders for these, it's not onesie twosie. We're talking hundreds, thousands of them at a time, right? Because they're getting in every room.
Right.
So how do you deploy and provision this from the cloud, right? So think just like an IP phone. You can set up the parameters for those phones, and then you just plug them in anywhere, right? So again, with Mercury, you could set it up from the cloud. You could connect. You can set room names, IP addresses, connect it to your SIP server. You could get all of that all set up in advance. Then when the hardware arrives, just walk around and plug them in.
Wow.
And then from the cloud, you can set up either global changes or set them up in groups. So say you've got a global organization and you're in Buenos Aires, Hong Kong, London, right? And you want different languages. You want Mandarin, you want French, you want Spanish, you want English. So you can set it up from the cloud in any language you want. You could set up different backgrounds if you want. You can manage licenses. You can change parameters and settings, all from the cloud.
That is very impressive. I mean, working for an integrator, Verrex, who is a huge Crestron partner and also has clientele on a global scale, that simplifies things to an immense degree.
Yeah, simple, scalable, secure. That's the whole idea, right? So more than just hardware, it's like, what do people do? How are they using it? How do we make it simple, scalable, and maybe even more important, secure on the network? Every one of the products that we're going to talk about today, that you'll see at the booth, has on the product level the network security built in. So we're authenticating individuals. Who is accessing your network? We're authenticating devices. Is that device really the device that it's claiming to be, that we think it is? And also then encrypting content on the network. So we're doing all that right on the product level. So we're not introducing any potential hack points in the system.
Corporate IT is going to love this product.
They do.
They're absolutely going to love it.
Really, this has been a home run.
Yeah.
It's been a home run.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, NVX.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the announcement this year.
Well, NVX, first and foremost, it's part of our digital media platform. And I'm sure you're very familiar with the DM platform, right? So whereas every other company out there, they have HD-based T solutions, right? Or maybe another company has network AV solutions. Somebody else might be doing H.264, right? But they kind of make you, they kind of have their product line and they kind of make you pick. Mm-hmm. Well, one size does not fit all, right? Depending on what you want to do in the room, what kind of infrastructure may or may not already be there, right? What parameters that organization, that IT department has set up. It's all got to kind of, you need it all, right? One doesn't replace the other. It all has to work together. So DM, it's always the right tool for the right job. It offers all of those different products using on all of the different infrastructure, and then on the back end can all be monitored, managed, and controlled from a single platform, from a single dashboard, if you will. So first and foremost, it's not this silo. It's part of a larger ecosystem, right? NVX is not your typical network AV solution. On the surface, if you're kind of reading the ads or the banners that are the hanging signs, it looks, oh, it's just a commodity, everybody's kind of doing this. Some things that are very, very unique. First and foremost, we are moving true 4K 60, 444 HDR video. There are other companies out there that will claim that, but you got to be careful. Really look at the fine print, because they can either do, so some of their 4K 60 does not support HDCP 2.2.
Right.
Right? So that's going to cause you problems. Now they then come out with an HDCP 2.2 solution, but you find that it really only can support up to 4K 30.
Right.
And in fact, when you go to decode it, it's really only decoding 1080p. So there's some things going on there that you want to just be aware of.
Interesting.
We're really moving 4K 60 444 HDR. That's first and foremost. So there's no difference between your HD-based T quality and your NVX or network AV quality. And we're doing it over standard 1 gigabit Ethernet, not 10 gigabit.
That's impressive. Over what distance?
It's Ethernet, however far you want it to go.
That's impressive.
It's Ethernet, and so so again, it's Cat 5e. It's not Cat 6 or Cat 7. It really makes it truly scalable. So again, if you're trying to scale or build out these systems, we're finding that they're really in the hundreds and thousands of endpoints, right? So it really needs to be scalable. If you're using a 10 gigabit system, you're going to need uplinks, right? Mm-hmm. You got to uplink from one PoE switch to another, or Ethernet switch to another. Right now, the largest uplink is a 100 gigabit uplink. I think that's the largest one that I've seen. Which means that if you have a 10 gigabit, call it stream, it's simple math. 100 divided by 10, that's 10. So even if you have a 48-point Ethernet switch, you can only uplink 10. You're going to run out of uplinks pretty quick, so you're not going to get that scalability. So it's more expensive, and it's not nearly as scalable. So the standard 1 gigabit Ethernet is huge. Now there are others out there that are doing things over 1 gigabit. That's fine. But some of the things that we're doing that are differently, again, you got to go back to that security. Now, security is key.
Are you going to, does it require any kind of a dedicated switch or a particular switch scale?
We do. Well, first of all, you can use any kind of, if you have your favorite Ethernet switch that you're already using or that your company is standardized on, use it.
If you like the switch that you
like
given,
the switch
you
you're
can
giving,
keep the switch that you're
get
given. Got it.
That might be a little loaded. I'm not going to get political, but yes, it is agnostic. We will have switches if you want to just have one-stop shop. We'll be offering that, so you can just buy it all from us, but you can keep the switch you like.
Okay.
It's all standard. I would say most companies like to set up a dedicated 1 gig network, but you don't have to. If you know what you're doing and you've got the room, you don't need a dedicated.
But it can be VLAN.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So the security is key. Again, going back to what I said before, the NVX, it's an encoder and decoder all in one. That's also really important. Nobody else is doing that. So we can encode the video and get it onto the network. We can also decode and take video off the network with the same device.
Which means minimal skew in order to actually provide the solution.
And maximum flexibility. You move things around. Drop one in a room, and now you're encoding and decoding.
Sounds like just like every other year, you guys continue to come out with these really, really dynamic new solutions.
Yeah, a couple other things real quick about NVX, because again, there have been some questions. We claim no latency. Let's be very, very clear. HD-based T all by itself in a vacuum, literally zero latency, right? But every system today has a scaler. I don't know, right? It's got to have a scaler. Now, pretty basic. Anytime you introduce a scaler, 30 milliseconds, right? That's pretty standard.
Yeah, it needs that time just to kind of size things.
Yeah, it's processing in the scaler. Now, when you put that video on the network, there's this extra process called decoding. So most, if not all other, I believe it's all other systems, you've now got the 30 milliseconds for scaling, and you may have another 20, 30 or more milliseconds to decode. We have developed technology in-house. It's patent pending. It actually does the scaling and the decoding simultaneously. So there is no additional latency. It has the exact same latency, if you will, or exact same performance as your HD-based T system.
That is pretty impressive, because I would agree. I don't know of anyone else on the market that can.
We developed that technology in-house. We're patenting it. It is unique to Crestron. And then finally, we're doing full two-way USB 2.0 routing. So for your kiosks, interactive digital signage, KVM applications, things like that. So it's not just USB HID. This is full bidirectional.
It's an all-in-one box.
Yep.
It literally takes care of everything.
It is very cool. Yep.
Very impressive. Well, listen, Jeff, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time to fill us in on everything that's new this year at
it wasn't
Crestron.
Everything, so come down to the booth 1900.
Please,
we got
definitely.
Plenty of other new things for you to see.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure that if you get the opportunity over the course of the next couple days, swing by one of the largest booth. Is it? Certainly one of the
I'll go with that.
booths,
yeah.
Here at the show. You can't miss it, right at the entrance. This has been another AVNation podcast covering InfoComm 2017. My name is Mike Shinn. Jeff, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Hope to see you folks soon. Thank you.